Chewing time with Korean movies.
Music is the essential foundation of human lives, and Korean lives also have close relationship with music. Usually we say Koreans have three kinds of characteristics: Jung, Hung, and Han. These elements are a good basis for Korean music. Today I tell you a movie related to Korean music. The title of the movie is Sopyonje, a branch of Hansory, Korean opera. The writer of this original work is Chung Jun-ji, and he is one of the most famous writers in 1960s. And his local color is big in this movie, Sopyonje. The director of this movie is Gwanghae, and he is the most famous director in 80s and 90s, and even new millennium. Sopyonje was produced in 1993. His screen demonstrates the beautiful nature and unique customs of Korea, with oriental aesthetics through the use of margin and virtue of self-control. Today's movie is the best music film in the history of Korean movie. Absolutely, you can enjoy the Korean traditional music here in this movie, and I'm sure you'll be touched by beautiful music and the story. This movie is about family related Pantori who have lived in poverty but try their best to make ultimate achievement for Pantori. Korean opera Pantori is handed down in the system of apprenticeship. The southern area of Korea are home of Pantori. In the 1940s, there was one master Pantori singer. Pantori master was very popular then, so he had many lovers here and there, even though he was married. The best student had an affair with his teacher's concubine, so he was expelled from the apprenticeship. He lived his life by singing at small parties, even though he once used to sing before royal family or gentry society. Now he managed to earn a living by singing as a day laborer with an orphan girl. Later, he made a family with a widow who has a son, but the wife died while giving birth to the baby. He wanders in poverty, but he teaches the girl and boy to sing pantori and how to beat a drum. Even in wandering lives, the daughter and son grow into young person. Sometimes they join the potion seller and seem to attract the customers' attention. But times have changed. Few people pay attention to pantori on the street. The daughter Songa sing pantori lonely with some passers-by in the empty street. Even their wandering life is not easy, but they massage their hard time with songs. Sometimes they perform for small parties, but some are rude to an unmotivated girl by doing an inappropriate sexual abuse. Father Yubong vents his anger to his innocent daughter. The son Songa hates his father and this poverty, but Songa says she loves pantori though. She feels comfort when she sings pantori without hunger, sadness, and worry. Yubong feels a lack of repertoire of pantori. He visits his friend who was here in pantori performance, but now come back home. It is so bitter that the last of friend is a fall with drugs, without any glory and fortune. Yubong learns some parts of pantori chunhyang from his friend, Chunang's prison song. Gwanghae tried to learn the song with every ounce of her energy, but it is really hard to achieve because she is so weak with hunger. The son Dongho blamed his father and caused a big conflict between them. And in spite of Songwa's decision, he left them. Songwa waited for her younger brother under the big jerk of a tree without eating and singing. Yubong, with all his soul and might, takes care of Songhwa.
한약 쓰는데 부자를 과하게 넣으면 눈이 먼다던데.
Just longing for Dongho. As he worried that Songhwa also might leave him, he put some poison into a medicine to make her blind. Because Songhwa is his last hope and hope him for his music.
왜 그러냐?
눈이
When
침침해요.
Songhwa realized that she cannot see anymore, she accepted as her fate. And she said
전 이제
she wanted to
장님이
love
되었나요?
Hanfori.
심청가
Especially
배우고
Simchong.
싶어요.
Simchong is a devoted daughter in Korean fairy tale who sold herself to open his father's eye. She is sacrificed to the king of dragon, god of the sea, for the safe sailing. The god is touched by the Simchong's good soul. He sent her in the lotus flower to the surface of the sea. And the sailors find her and send her to the king. Later, she becomes a queen. She invites all blind people in the country to the feast in the palace. Her father, who's so sad to lose his daughter by his foolish desire, opened his eye when he heard his daughter's voice.
미덕에 감정이 소리 없어 쓰겠냐? 네가 심청이 같은 기분으로 애절하고 슬프게 해야지. 다시.
Yubong is old and tired. His poverty is worse and worse, and it is getting more difficult to sell his voice to earn a living. But he never stopped teaching and training Songhwa for achieving her absolute sound for Pansori. When they settle in an abandoned house in a small village, the situation is even worse. But he never loses his confidence by thinking this house as the best place for training Pansori. Yubong explained the difference between Sopyonje and Dongpyonje. The two main branches of Pansori are divided by Somjingang River. Dongpyonje referred to Pansori, which was completed by famous singer in the eastern part of the Somjingang River. Sopyonje was completed in the western part of the Somjingang River. The tone of Dongpyonje is powerful and clear-cut, but that of Sopyonje is pathetic and delicate and sad. Actually, Korea has another Pansori, Junggoje, which was complete mainly in Gyeonggi and Chungcheong area. The tone of the Pansori is spontaneous and free. Yubong tells story why Songhwa's voice is so pretty, even though she has had such a hard time losing parents so early and even losing her sight totally. He thinks naturally the tones of emotion of Han should be carried in her Pansori. It is explained that Korean Han is the mixture of all sadness, frustration, longing, hopeless love, hunger, poverty. These feelings store one by one in the heart for a long time and make a solid lump of something in the heart. Yubong stroked the teacher and trained Songhwa by even stealing a chicken to give her energy. Yubong is severely beaten by the owner of the chicken, and he becomes even more weak. When Songwa's country has Korean Han, Yubong said he made her sight lost. When he asked Songwa if he knew why she lost the sight, she silently nodded yes. Yubong died saying sorry about that. Songwa takes care of father's grave for 3 years, singing at Surrogate Womb. Jumak in Korea was kind of tavern in which a traveler could eat, drink, and sleep. And then she lived to go somewhere. Dong-ho, who worked as a staff of herbal medicine in Grand Store, misses his family, even though he left them because he hated father and the stricken poverty. He wandered searching for every well-known pantry singer, hoping to meet his sister by any chance. When he visits Surrogate Womb to meet a well-known pantry singer, he comes to know that his father Yubong passed away, and his sister Songhwa left to go somewhere. He also heard the rumor that Yubong made Songhwa lost sight because he was afraid that she would leave him, or because he wanted to plant the emotional Han into Songhwa's song. When he visits another Juma, he hears Songhwa always waited for her brother, lonely sitting on the narrow veranda every evening. By the time he nearly gives up, he meets father's friend and hears the news that he met Songhwa at a pub in Bosong village. When Dong arrived at the Jumak in Yonggwang village, he finally met his sister Songhwa. He asked her to sing some pieces of pantry. Accompanied with a drum beat, Songhwa begins to sing pantry 심청가. With the pantry and the drum beat, they share all kinds of emotion together all through the night. Dong-ho left her without word the next morning. The man in the restaurant asked her if he is her younger brother, who she's been waiting for. And she said yes. When she heard his drum beat, she learned she was her younger brother, because the beat was exactly the same as the father's. When he asked her why they leave each other without a word, Songhwa said, "It's because we don't want to hurt our Han." The man asked again, "How deep is the Han that you break up without saying a word?" Songhwa answered, "We solve the Han all through the night with my songs and brother's drum beat." Songhwa goes to a lonely journey to somewhere again. Epilogue. They say that Koreans usually three characteristics are Jung, Han, Hung. Jung is a kind of good emotion in family, friend, guest, and in society with considerating, breathing, sharing, and loving. Korean Hung is more spontaneous and free. Usually you can see the Hung in a simple wavering of shoulder and arm of Korean grandmother in small village feast. These three elements connect together in music. This movie Sopyonje is especially related to Han and Hung. Even when they wander on the way of loneliness, they soothe themselves with the song of Hung. Actually, Hung is a driving force to overcome the sadness of Han. And Han is kind of fuel to make Hung. Sometimes Hung sublimate Han into beauty. When Songa and Dongho share music together, Songa's Han and Dongho's Hung go together in harmony. They feel catharsis. They feel happy while shedding tears. Usually people enjoy art when they have enough room, mentally and physically. But artists bloom their art in agony. Songa can go another journey, maybe because he knows the magic of Jung Han Hung.